Let me show you how to build a beautiful website in just around an hour without having any technical skills. Let me first tell you all the things we'll need to set up our beautiful website. The first thing we'll need is a domain name and hosting. And if you don't know what domain name or hosting or the difference is, think of your domain name as your phone number, which people can call you. So this website or the website you'll build will have a name that people will type in. That's the domain name. And the hosting is, think of it as the cell phone network. You need both active at the same time, your phone number and the cell service, for your phone number to be active. Similarly, you'll need your domain name and hosting connected and alive or live at the same time for your website to work. Now, in most cases, you have to buy the domain name separately and pay for it anywhere between 10 to 15 to 20 or even hundreds of dollars a year, depending on how premium a domain name is. But if you follow the steps in this video using our special link that I'm going to give you, then you will get a ridiculously low pricing on the hosting itself, but also you'll get a domain name entirely for free for an entire year. So you won't have to pay for the domain name and you'll get a great pricing on the hosting itself. So make sure you use the special link I'm going to share in the next few steps in the video. And then after we have the domain name and hosting, we'll use a CMS. Now think of CMS as the piece of software that you'll use to manage the content. So instead of messing with code, the CMS will allow you to add new pages or customize the pages without having to mess with code. So the CMS we'll be using is the world's most popular CMS called WordPress, and around 44% of the entire world's websites are built on WordPress. So we are in safe hands with WordPress. That's what we're going to use. Then we will customize a website based on what we like using a theme. Now in this case, we'll use the Astra theme. It's one of the most popular WordPress themes. And think of adding a theme as just choosing the look of your website. So we'll be using the Astra theme to customize how our website looks and just all the rest of the things that go with it. Then we'll use some plugins on our site as well. Now think of plugins as apps on your phone. Your phone is a capable device, but apps make it more powerful. So we'll install some plugins on our website to make it more capable and add some functionality. So we'll use some specific plugins. One plugins we'll use is All-in-One SEO. As you can probably make by the name, All-in-One SEO is a SEO plugin. So we'll add that to our website. Then we also add a plugin called Duplicator for backing up our website. It's important to have backups in case anything goes wrong. And then we'll add a forms plugin called WP Forms. So if you need specific forms on your site, contact forms, and allow people to add information or connect with you, then we'll use WP Forms. It's one of the best plugins out there with regards to forms. Then we'll also install a plugin called WP Code. Sometimes you need to customize your website in a way that's not possible without messing with code. And in this case, WP Code is a replacement for that. So you can do a lot of things on your website without having to mess with code if you install WP Code. And then we'll also install a plugin called SeedBroad, which will allow you to create pages on your website using a drag and drop interface. So even if you have no skills with coding, you can completely design new pages on your site using a drag and drop builder. So it's wonderful. We'll use that as well. And we'll also use a plugin called WP Mail SMTP so that we can configure our website to send out emails. It's important because without the configuration, if let's say you forgot your password or if you have users registering on your site, they won't be notified or you won't be notified by email. So it's important to set that up as well. Now, there are many other plugins we can install, but these are the essential plugins that I would recommend anybody or every website should have. And as your website grows, you find more needs to fulfill with your website. You can always find more plugins, but these are the essential ones that every website should have. So with that out of the way, let's get started with the actual process of building a website. As I mentioned, if you use our referral link that I'm going to show you in a minute, then you'll get a domain name entirely for free for an entire year, and you'll get a ridiculous price on the hosting as well. So let me show you how to get started purchasing domain name and hosting. So to avail the special offer I was talking about, you have to use this particular URL that I'm going to type it on screen, but you can use the link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. It's the same URL. I'm just going to type it in so that people can see what the link is. So I'm going to just focus on the address bar. I'll just zoom it up on the screen so you can see it is here. I'm going to type in HTTPS and don't ignore the suggestion that's coming up, and I'm going to colon / and I'm going to go to www.wpbeginner. Make sure to see the spelling, that's correct, /refer /hostinger -yt / I'm just leave the link here on the screen so that you can actually see what the spelling is, but you can use the link in the description and pin comment, but just I'll leave it on the screen for a couple of seconds to see what the page look like. So that if you're typing it in, then you know exactly what the link is. So hopefully by now you can take a screenshot or you've typed the link in. I'm just going to press enter, and this is going to take us to the page on Hostinger, which has this special offer. Now, when I'm recording this video, we have Black Friday running, the deals running. So you might get some extra bonuses here, which you might not get regularly. So for example, you can see here the pricing is just $195 a month plus 3 months free. So if it's not Black Friday, when you're watching this video, Black Friday is not running, then you might not get 3 months free. So don't be discouraged. It's still a great price and you still get a domain name for absolutely free. It's a ridiculously low price for host or hosting, as well as like basically a domain name for absolutely free. So once you're happy, you can see here, everything is here. Just click the claim deal button here, and this will take you to the pricing options. There are 2 pricing options. Once again, you can get 3 months free right now, but maybe not throughout the year. Then you have pricing for $195 a month and also $295 a month. And you have some differences here. And I'll say the $195 one is basically easy to get started with because you can build 100 websites on that plan. I'm sure nobody is building 100 websites as their first project, but you have the option if you want to, and you have all the amazing features here as well. Now, if you do want to build an e-commerce website, you might consider some of these features here, but that's completely up to you. You can see the differences are here in the plans are just in the AI tools. But you don't need AI tools to get started, or at least you don't need to start with them. You can build a website completely without them as well. So if you're happy with this, if you want this, then maybe consider upgrading later or testing out the features. But for now, I'm going to click the $195 button here called the choose plan, and we'll just go to the next step. On the next page, this is what you'll see. You'll see the pricing total here. You'll see the period. Now, if you want to change the period, that's completely up to you. You can choose a period of 1 month, 12 months, 24 months, and 48 months. And do keep in mind the pricing will be different if you don't pay for the longest duration. For example, if I choose the pricing for 12 months, I might pay a little bit extra per month for the hosting. So it's $245 a month compared to $199 a month or whatever, $195 a month, but still a great price to pay when I get started. And of course, we get a domain name for absolutely free as well. So we have that savings on top that we also can actually use. So you can see here that if I pay for 12 months, I'm paying $245 a month, and the current total billing will be $29.40. And this is the discount we're getting on the total pricing. So for the next few steps, all you have to do is click continue, and it'll ask you for billing information, creating an account, all that good stuff. Pretty simple, straightforward. If you have made any purchase online, the same thing. Ask for your credit card details, some payment information, everything else. I can't follow along because I already have an account on Hostinger. I have basically set up everything already. So all you have to do is just go through the steps and finish setting up your account. Now, do remember that you'll set up an account on Hostinger. So you'll have an email address that's associated with your account, and also the password that you'll use to set up and log into Hostinger. Once that is done, all we have to do is log into Hostinger, and you can use the link that you'll get in your email to log into the backend of Hostinger. Then I'm going to show you how to actually build your website in Hostinger. It's absolutely simple. So if you're not done, then just make sure, pause the video here, finish the setup process, and then come back to the video so that I can show you how to set up your website. So I'll see you in the next step. I hope you set up your hosting account completely with the email address and set up a password. Make sure that you enter the credit card details and payments done and everything is set up. Now, make sure to log into your hosting account using the password and email, and also the link that you got in your email. You already know your credentials, but the link to login will be in your email. That's account setup as well. And once you log into your hosting account, this is what you will see. This is the Hostinger control panel. And as I mentioned, I already have an hosting account. So we use this hosting account for a lot of different websites. So you can probably see there are a lot of different websites here. So on your first login, you might not see all these details here. That's completely all right. All you have to do is make sure that you see the menu here, because this is what we'll use to navigate across all the different things that we're going to do. So the first thing we'll do is create a website. So I'll just go into the website section. And inside websites, you'll see that I already have a lot of different websites. You can see I'll just blur things out because I'm keeping it simple, but I have a lot of websites. And to create a new website, all you have to do is click the add website button. Now on your page, it might look somewhere here, or a giant button because you have no website. So all you have to do is just click this button, and then you have 3 options: WordPress, Hostinger website builder, and empty PHP site. As I mentioned, we'll be using WordPress. It's the most popular content management system or website management software in the world. We'll use this and just proceed to the next step. And in the next step, we'll have a basic setup process of how to set up a website. So the first question is, who is this website for? Of course, it's for ourselves. So I'll click myself or my business. We'll click next. In the next step, you'll be asked to create credentials for your website. That means logging into your website. Now, do keep in mind that credentials for hosting account and credentials for your website are different. Specifically, the password would be different. You can use the same email address, and you can see the default email address, which I've blurred out, is the same email address that I'm using for my hosting account. So you don't need to change the email, but the password will be different. So I'm using a different password for logging into Hostinger, and I'm using this password, which will be the administrator password, I'll use this to log into my website. So it's a good idea to create a strong password that you can remember, and Hostinger will create a password for you. You can just click this eye icon to reveal the password, copy it, and then change it later as well. I'm going to show you how to do that in the later steps. But for now, if you have a password in mind, just create or just enter the password here, and that will be your website password. It's important to differentiate between that. So that is what you're going to do. So once that's done, you're happy with the password, you're happy with the email address, the language, just click the next button to just go to the next step. And then you have some different options, that business website, what kind of website you're building. Now in these few steps, we don't need to spend a lot of time here. So what we can do is create a blank site. I'm going to show you all the steps myself on how to set up and customize a website. So in this case, I'm not going to say choose any specific website, just create a blank site, and this will take you to the next step. Now, here is the important part. What you have to do here is enter the same domain name that you already purchased or gotten for free during your setup process. I already have a domain name. This website, or for this particular website, I'm going to use a temporary domain name because I don't have an additional domain name lying around. What will you do is here is enter your domain name that you have claimed as a free domain name. You can change that later as well if you have not claimed it, or there's a different process that you want to apply, or you already had a domain name, you want to connect it. You can do all of that. But if you have claimed a free domain name with Hostinger during the setup process, this is where you'll enter it so that your website and your domain name can be connected. In this case, my case particularly, I'm going to just use this button called Use Temporary Domain. So this will take me to the next step. And this starts the process of installing WordPress and setting a website. And trust me, this is the only thing you need to figure out to build a website. Once this process is done, which will take a couple of minutes, our website will actually be live already. That's how easy it is. So if you have followed along or if you follow these processes, then you can do the rest of the things as easily as well. So let's wait for the setup process to finish, and I'll resume the video and I'll show you how your website looks like with just a few minutes of work. So in just a minute's time, the website is actually already done. And this is what you see here. And this is the back end of the website. That means the administrator side, which is where you can manage your website, add new pages, change the content, everything else. If you want to see how the front end of the website looks, which is how users or viewers will see the website, all you have to do is just hover over this portion, and this should reflect your domain name. Right now, it's my temporary domain name. So once you hover over it, you'll see this button called Visit Site. If I right click and open it in a new tab, you'll see this is your website. Now, it doesn't look great because there's no content, but it is still, I'd say it's live. So you can experience that how easy it is to build a website. In the next few steps, we're going to do something amazing, completely transforming a website in just a few steps. So let's head back to our website here and show you the process to install a theme and completely transform how the website looks like. Let me show you how that's done. So I've just made a couple of changes to the website. Now you can see my website title here. I'm going to show you how to do that. And you can see my name in the top right corner. Just a couple of settings. I'm going to show you how to do everything later. And this is the dashboard of your WordPress website. Dashboard is where you can see everything about your website, mostly how you configure. And this is where the dashboard lives. So if you log into your website, most of the time you'll be in the dashboard or in the Hostinger panel here. And to do anything, all you have to do is just look at the menu. So everything that you want to do in WordPress will be presented in a menu entry here. So when we want to change a theme or install a new theme, that portion is available in the appearance section. So if you see the appearance section here, you can see the themes option here. And this is what I'm going to click to reach the theme section. And here we have some predefined or pre-installed themes that we have. So by the way, this is what we saw here. This is this theme, the 2025 theme. It's the default theme that WordPress ships with. And every year they usually release a new version. So this is the most latest version of the theme. So what we'll do is install a brand new theme on our site. So I'm going to click this button called Add New Theme, and this will present us all the different themes available to us. All of these are free to use. We don't have to worry about paying for themes. Right now, everything is free. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we'll be using the Astra theme. And you can see in the popular section, that's almost just the top theme here, the Astra theme. And don't worry if you don't like this look, you can always change it later. I'm going to show you exactly how to change that as well. So just hover over Astra and click the Install button. And this will start installing the theme on our site, and just takes a minute. So let's let that finish. And it's already installed. Let's also activate the theme. Now, once the theme will be activated, it'll take a few minutes of our time. And now it is done. So the theme is now installed. And if we go back here and refresh, then we'll see a different looking theme. It's still not beautiful, or it's not something that you expect a regular website to be. Don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a few minutes. So coming back here, you'll see this notice sometimes. Hey, build your dream website with AI. Let's get started with starter templates. Now, starter templates are a companion plugin that ship with the Astra theme that help you choose what kind of website you want to build. Instead of having to customize this from scratch, you have predefined, let's say, looks of your website that you can directly import. So what I'm going to do is not use this feature here directly, because sometimes it might not show up. So I'm going to show you the exact steps on how would you need to get starter templates installed on site so that Astra can use those starter templates. For that, we'll have to head to the plugins section here on our menu. So inside, just below the appearance, you'll see plugins. So go to plugin section and click add a new plugin. And the options here, I'm just going to click and type in starter templates. So starter templates, very simple to follow. And this will bring us to the starter templates. This is the plugin. You can see it's by Brainstorm Force. It has great installs. And this is companion plugin that connects with the Astra theme to provide a lot of options to customize your website. So once you see this here, starter templates, we'll click install now. It'll take a few minutes to install, or let's say just a few seconds. So it's already installed now. Let's click activate as well. And this is where the magic happens. This is where you'll be able to completely transform how your website looks like with the help of starter templates. So once you install starter templates, you might notice nothing is happening. Where do I do all that good stuff that I was talking about? In that case, all you have to do is just see the plugin section, go to the install plugins, because starter templates is a plugin that we just installed. And all these plugins that you see here are installed by Hostinger. They are important, so we'll keep them there. But inside starter templates, you'll see here, this is the plugin. So what we need to do is go to the starter templates get started button, or we can also head to appearance and you'll see starter templates here. So the entry is added to starter templates, or entry is added to the appearance as well. Any button you click will bring you to the next step, which is getting started with starter templates. And I'll completely take over your screen for a few minutes so that we can completely build a website. And we have an option for AI website builder. We're just going to choose the classic starter templates and just go to next step. And here we'll select the block editor because it's the most compatible editor, and you'll not need to like master something else. Everything happens inside WordPress. We'll select the block editor. And here, now, this is where the magic happens. Now, you'll see a lot of different predefined, pre-created websites for you that are available to you just to directly install. Now, all of these are not free. Some are premium. So you can see, if you see the premium tag, that means you need to upgrade to a different plan to use it. But there's so many different themes still available that you can directly install. So let's hover over them and see them. So you can see the Earth. I'll just scroll to the top first. And you also have filters that you can use to completely like find out the right theme that you want. I'm just going to scroll around a bit to see one theme that I like. So we have the nature theme, we have outdoor adventure, we also have this Earth theme. This looks nice. Dental clinic. We also have the personal portfolio, digital agency. This looks nice as well. And we have a local business, aquarium. We have wedding and artist, daycare services. So many different options to choose from. Now, we can go on and find a lot of different ideas, but I think I like the digital agency website here. So I'm going to click on this, and this is where we can select and customize this template even further. So right now, if you already have, let's say, a business logo, then you can just upload that logo here, and you'll see the live preview of your website with that logo. And this is how it works. And you also have the option to change the font combination. So you'll have a lot of different predefined font combinations that you can cycle through basically. So I'll just click here and cycle through different font styles, and we can figure out the one that we like the best. So this gives you control over that. Hey, this is the look I wanted for my website, and you can still have or retain some sort of control. So after scrolling through basically all the typography options, I think I like this one. So this is outfit and DM songs. So I like this font style. Then we also have the option of changing the color palette. So you see some colors here. So if I click here, you'll see the website is completely transformed into a different color theme. So to do this, imagine you'll have to spend so much time or hire a developer. And all these options are available right inside the Astra theme. So you can just cycle through and figure out all the different like colors that what you like. For now, I'll stick with the default options because it's already done and it looks good. We'll click continue. And here we'll have options to additional or install additional plugins. Now, there are different plugins for different, I'd say, functionality. For this purpose of this video, where we're just building a website, we don't need any of these plugins for now. So I'm going to just skip the step and proceed to the next step. And here we can enter some information about ourselves. If you are okay with Brainstorm Force collecting some data about your business or your website. So in this case, I can disable this if I want to. And then all you have to do is click this on I understand, let's go, and go to the next step and click this button which says submit and build my website. I'm going to click on it, and the website building process has begun. It might take like, let's say 30 to 40 seconds, and you'll see the timer here or percentage completion here. Once this is done, our website will have a completely entirely new look. So let's wait for that to finish. All right, our website was completely done in just 19 seconds. So it's pretty fast to completely install this theme, Astra theme and starter templates. Now, what we can do is visit the dashboard or visit our website. I'm excited to see how our website looks like. So I'm going to just right click on this and let's click on it and let's just open our website in a new tab. And now we have a completely transformed website with perfect details, everything done already. So that's how easy it is to completely customize your website. Nothing technical was done, and you could exactly follow this step by step, even if you had no idea how a website works. The next few steps, what we're going to do is install the plugins and customize this to your liking. And don't worry, this is not the only page on the website. It is a well-designed page, but you also have a services page built. We also have an about page. If you go here, there's an about page and there's a contact page here as well. So everything we wanted is now already done, or at least most websites would want is already done. But I'm going to show you the next few steps on how to create new pages, how to customize these, and how to change things around if you want to change the background images and everything else. But even if you just wanted to build a quick website up and running in just a few minutes of time, this is what you can already accomplish. It's pretty powerful stuff and pretty amazing how easy it is to build a website. So let's head to the plugin section. I'm going to install a few plugins and show you what plugins do, and just let's set up that part first. Then I'm going to show you how to customize your website and change things around if you want to change the headings, to change the copy, the typography, or change the messaging of the site. So let's head back to the dashboard of the site. So inside the dashboard, we had this, which we finished, and then we went to the website. We can click this cross icon here or visit dashboard. I'm going to click the cross button, which will take us back to our dashboard. So now we have the dashboard here. Now inside the dashboard, we already saw the plugin section. So if I go back here in plugins, if I go to add a new plugin, this is where we can install new plugins for our website. So I'll click add new plugin, and we're going to quickly install a few different plugins that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, which are essential or providing essential functionality. And I'm not going to go through all the setup process, because every plugin you install or most plugins you install has a setup process if specifically a few settings are to be configured. But I'm going to just install the plugin so that you know how to do it and how it looks like. And I'll show you the completed, let's say, the step of how it looks like when all the plugins are installed. So I'm going to go here, and the first plugin we're going to install is All-in-One SEO. So I'm going to type in AIO SEO, which is an abbreviation for All-in-One SEO. And you can see here, All-in-One SEO, powerful SEO plugin to boost SEO rankings and increase traffic. And by the way, if you didn't realize, this section where we install plugins is the WordPress repository. So think of it as a free collection of apps for your WordPress website. So if you're installing a plugin from the WordPress repository, it's free, or at least has a very good free version that you can utilize. The same is the case with All-in-One SEO. It has a powerful free version, but if you feel that you would want more functionality, more professional features, then you can think about upgrading, and you'll see some offers or notifications inside the plugin to upgrade. So you don't have to worry about finding where to upgrade. That information will come to you naturally. So you see the plugin here, All-in-One SEO theme. I'm just going to click install now. It just takes a few minutes. The plugin will be installed. So that's that done. And I'm not going to click the activate button. I'm going to activate all the plugins at the same time, also demonstrating how you can do it. So once All-in-One SEO is done, I'm going to head to the next plugin, which is Duplicator. So I'm going to type in Duplicator. As I mentioned, Duplicator is a backup plugin. So if you, let's say you should be backing up your website regularly. So Duplicator allows you to back up your website and also configure automatic backups and a lot of different functionality. So you can see here, the Duplicator plugin is here. I'm going to click install now. It takes again a few seconds. Let that finish as well. All right, that's done too. Let's install a forms plugin. I'm going to do WP Forms. As I mentioned, WP Forms, very simple to understand and remember. And you can see here, I see WP Forms and WP Mail SMTP. Both are plugins we needed to install already. So I'm going to click install now and install now here as well. Let both the plugins install. And we'll be left with 2 more plugins to install. And then we'll have our website completely set up. So that's done too. All right. All right. Let's search for WP code. That's also a very important plugin we have to have. WP code. And now we can see WP code as well. Let's install that plugin too. And the last plugin we'll install is Seedprod, which is a page builder plugin, which will allow you to create complete new pages. So Seedprod, let me just search for it. The spelling you see on the screen here. So we see here, Seedprod, website builder by Seedprod. So I'm going to click install now. All right. So a lot of plugins I have installed already on my site, but I didn't activate them. So what's the difference between activation and installation? Well, you can have plugins installed in the site, but not actually affecting your site. That's the process of activation. So you can disable plugins if, let's say, you're testing out a few different plugins for the same functionality. You can figure out which one do you like the best. So specifically, I didn't activate the plugin, so I can show you how that feature works inside the plugins menu. So let's head to the plugins menu once again. And instead of add new plugin, which I am right now, I'm going to head to the install plugins section. So I'm going to click here, install plugins. And now we'll see all the list of installed plugins on our site. Similar to how you have apps on your phone, think of this as basically apps for your WordPress website. So you can see the ones highlighted in a darker color are basically installed and activated. But the ones that don't have this background, the bluish background, are installed but not activated. So we can obviously click the activate button and install it and activate them, but I'm going to use the bulk actions here. So I'm going to click all the plugins that we installed but didn't activate. So I'll just scroll down here, click here, click here, click here. And then on the bottom of the screen and also on the top of the screen, you have bulk actions. So you can do multiple things to multiple plugins at the same time. So here I'm going to click activate and just click apply. So now that we have our plugin installed and the website completely built, just a reminder, this is the website. We've completely built the website. So now what do we need to do? Well, of course, we need to learn how to customize our pages and posts on the site. So let me highlight the difference between a page and a post. So what you see here is the home page, then you have the services page, then you have the about page and the contact page. So naturally, pages that are more static in nature is something we'll use the terminology page for. And then you also have posts on the site. So if you go here in the website dashboard, you can see here we have pages and we have posts. And post is most like, think about it as a blog post. So if you post content on your site about something, then you will use posts. But existing pages have already been created for our site. So let me show you how to navigate to the pages and how to actually customize these pages. So to see all the pages you have on your site, we'll head to the pages section here. And inside the pages, we have an option, all pages. So once we open all pages, you'll see that some pages have been created for us. And by default, when we create or just build a website, you might see some posts on pages by default included with WordPress. So if I head to the post section for just a second, if I go to all posts, you'll see that a sample post has been created or it's shipped by default with WordPress. But that's not the case with pages. All the pages that you see here were imported when we created and imported the starter templates on our site. So we have the about, contact, home, privacy policy, and services, which is the exact same pages we see here. This is the home page. We have services, about, contact, and some policy pages. Now, you'll also see that some posts have some notification here, kind of I'd say an annotation here. So this is the front page of our site. That means the actual page when people visit your website. This is the home page. So if you want to create new pages, I'm going to show you that in a second. You can always click this add new page button and create new pages. But I'm going to show you first how to customize your pages. So for example, if you are on the home page here, let's say this is the page you want to customize. Of course, few things that you would want to do once you've imported a default template is change the text, maybe change the colors a little bit, maybe change the typography, maybe change something else. And once we do that, I'm also going to show you how to upload your own logo and customize the menu and get these buttons. So I'll do this in two parts. First, we'll look at the post itself or the page itself. Then I'm going to show you how to change the header area, which is the menus and the logos and the buttons. So let's head to the home page here and I'll hover over it and you'll see an option to see a few different options. So we'll click the edit link here. And this will open up the block editor in WordPress. Now the block editor is quite extensive, so you might feel it's overwhelming at first, but don't worry. I'm going to show you the basics around, and I've done a complete video on our channel showing how to use the block editor. It's a pretty decent, or I'd say very extensive video. So I'll put that in the I button above, and you can go check it out after you watch this video. And also it'll be linked in the description of this video, so you don't miss it anyway. So this is the basic block editor. Now it might look confusing or intimidating, because there's so many buttons. I'm going to clarify why those buttons are here. But most important part is that you can see the entire page very similar to how you see here, right? It looks very much the same, except for a few changes. So let me just address those. First of all, you won't see the header and footer on the page section. So if you see here, there is no header and there's no footer here because that's edited elsewhere. So you see the home page section here and you don't see any footer here. That's completely normal. So that's how it's going to work. And the next thing you might notice is so many different buttons. Now, some of these buttons are default to WordPress. For example, this WordPress logo, this plus icon, and this entire section is default. So this will be included regardless of the theme you use. But since we've installed SeedProd, the page builder, we see a button here. Then we also have installed the Spectra plugin, which is actually defaultly or installed by default when we use or install starter templates or when we imported this templates. So that's one button here. Both these buttons will be important at a later stage, but for now we can ignore them. And you also have this new menu system. So anytime you want to search anything, you can just click Control or type Control K on Windows and you can search for it. So this is a native option in WordPress. And you also have some options here. Now, some of these are coming from All-in-One SEO, some of them come from Spectra and Astra. And that's why you see so many buttons here. But I'll clarify most of the things, most of the, I'd say, operations that you need to do. So you don't need to worry about and see all these buttons and be intimidated. The most important thing that you might want to do on your website is change the text. Now, this is where it gets very interesting and absolutely easy. Because when you're actually editing a page, you can see here, when I take my mouse and hover over certain areas, there's a blue border around them, which means I can simply click and alter the settings or alter the block, especially the text block. So if I click here, then you can just see that we have a normal cursor, that how you see on your computer, any word processor. You have some menu options here, and then you can basically type anything and just change the text. So right now it says digital agency that thrives on your success. And then we can change it to digital agency that relies on your success. And I can just change it around and we're done. So for any text on the site, that's how easy it is. You just have to click and just change, right? So I can just click here, and instead of find out how, I can just do find out more. And if I'll click here and say, if you're looking for an agency to help you create a remarkable presence online, you've come to the right place. We can help you take your business to the next level. So I don't need to change this. But the idea here is that we took this starter template, which was designed for agencies, but you can actually change this to anything. So if you're a service-based business, let's say an IT security business or IT peripheral business, any business, then you can just change the text around and then everything is easy for us. Then you can also change it here. If you click here, hires for design, development, and marketing, I can change this for deployment or something else. We can completely change anything. So that's the text part. It's very easy. I don't need to even go into a lot more detail because all you have to do is click and change it around. Now, what about some other things? For example, I want to change the image here. I want to change the colors around, maybe add some elements, maybe remove some elements. So for that, we need some background information. How the WordPress editor works is using blocks. That's why it's called the block editor. And how these pages are structured is a collection of blocks. So they are stacked on top of each other, organized in blocks. And how do you see which kind of blocks are we using? Well, for that, we have a very good feature inside WordPress, which is the navigation option here, or document overview. I call it the list view, but you can use or call it whatever. So if I click this button here, you'll see the page shift to the right here, and we have a new menu here. Now, this is something that will completely demystify everything about how the page is structured. Beginners, at least when the block editor came out, I also had a lot of trouble following, hey, how is the page structured? And this makes it absolutely easy. So we have the list view and we also have the outline. So if you see when you type in a lot of text, this is also a useful feature. We'll stick with the list view for now. Now, we have all these options here. Now, what do these mean? So these are containers. So basically anything that you put in a container stays organized. So whenever you see something that like a block here, it's usually organized in a container. So if I click this container here, you'll see that the first block, which is this image and this text, is highlighted. So everything inside this headline, this piece of text, and this find out more is inside this container. And I can just click here and expand this. And you see there's a heading, another heading, and then an icon list. So that's how the blocks are arranged and created. And that's how the page is actually created. And if I click on the second container, you'll see we'll switch here. So now we have hire us for. So this is the block. You can see the blue highlight represents what the block is. And inside the block, I'll just close this one and open this one. Now we have hire us for, which is the heading. And we have another container. If I open this up, you have 3 info boxes in that container. So now you understand, hey, this is how the page is structured. Now, the important part is that I already showed you how to change the text, but how do I add new blocks, or how do I customize, let's say, for example, the background color. I want to make it a little saturated or change the color tone around a little bit. Well, for that, we need to understand a second option inside the WordPress block editor, which is the features, or I'd say the customization options. So if you hover over this area where the save button shows up, just next to it on left, you'll see this button. It's the settings block, settings options. So you can also use the Control plus Shift plus comma key. I don't use it usually. So I'll just click on it and you'll see and now we have another menu option show up on the right. And this is where we can customize the settings for particular block that we selected. So if you choose the container block, you'll see the settings for the block here. If I choose the headings block, we'll see the block settings change to the heading. We can again go to the info box and we can see the block changes to info block. So whenever you want to change anything, basically customize anything, this is the place where you'll do it. You also have the option of changing the page settings. If you change to the page section, then you have a lot of different options here which you can use. I'm not going to get into these options right now. Let's stick to the block options. Of course, you'll need to have a block selected for this to appear. And you might see that the page is being squeezed out. That's completely all right. When you want to see a live preview, you can always close this, and you'll have see this is how the page will actually look like. And you can always bring this back and click around. So what I'll do is, let's say, for example, I want to change the hire us, this block's background color. So I click on this. Now, important to understand to realize that I am choosing the right block. And you can always verify this with the list view here. So I'm choosing the main container. And in the main container, we have a lot of different options. So we have the general options, style options, advanced. Now, there's so many options that I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but basically the idea is you can change the width, you can change the height, you can actually customize them, how's it written, how the text works, everything else. And inside the style tab is where we can change the colors around. So you can see here we have a few different options. So the background we have is a basic color, and the color is selected here. We also have an overlay, we have colors changing, borders, box shadows. Basically, we have a lot of different options to customize. You can explore this around and change things around, because even if you mess something up, you can just go back and reinstall or I'd say import the starter template, and everything will be overridden. So you don't need to work around, or I'd say worry too much about messing something up. Now, if I want to change the color, so here we see the background option here is we have the basic color option selected, but we also have an option to add a image, gradient, and video as a background. So this is what you see here in the first block. I'm going to show you how to change the image there as well. But the idea is that I can go here, click on the color option, and now we have a color here. Now let's say I want to make it a little more saturated. So I'll just take this and just move it around slightly to the right. Right. Now it doesn't look great. So what I'm going to do is go back here actually, and I'm going to make it slightly darker. Right. So I'll just make it slightly darker like this. And I think this should be enough. Yeah. So in just a second, I was able to change the background color, and it's very easy to see, right? It's very easy. So no matter what change you want to make on a site, it's absolutely easy. And what I can do is I can replicate the same thing for the next block. So for example, I'm here inside the block. I want to change the background color and make it slightly more saturated. So once again, I can go into the main block. So again, important to understand that you're selecting the main block. So you see here, I've selected the block that is inside the block. That's why I don't see any color options. And I'm wondering, hey, where's the background color? So no worries, just make sure that you are selecting the main container. So if I click this button, now you see the color options here. So that's why the list view is so important, because it will demystify what are you doing. Okay, just a warning, let's get rid of that. Go back here. All right. So now if I want to, I can actually change the color here. So I'll click on it. It'll make it slightly nice saturated color, and we should be done. So how easy it is to do all of that. In just a couple of seconds, change the background color for both these elements. Now you also have images here. So for example, if I go back to the list view, because it's easiest, if I click over the container here, for this container, we have a background as set to an image. So that's why we see this image here. Now to change this image, you can just import and replace this with an image. So what I'm going to do is just download a image of the internet. So let's go to unsplash.com, which is a free website for images. I'm going to search for team. Okay. And I'll stick with the landscape orientation. And we'll see team. We have this team. And most of the images on this website are free. So we don't have to worry about copyright or any legal issues. So I'll just scroll around a bit and I'll find one image that I like. I think this one looks nice. We can use this one as well. This also looks nice. So I'm going to click the download button. And this image is now downloaded. Now, this image is quite large because the website supports very high resolution images. So make sure to compress it. So what I'm going to do is just pause the video for a second, compress the image, and then come back and show you how we can replace the image. Now, there's plenty of places you can do this. We have videos on our channel that show you how to do this, but this is not in the scope of this video. So I'll just skip that part right now. So I've compressed the image down, and you can see this is the image, and it's around 200 kilobytes, and it's 1200 by 800. So now it's a usable image. So now I'll head back to my site here and find the tab here, and you can see that you have the option to change image. Let's change the image, and we have the new image. So I'll just drag and drop it here like this. And in a second, the image is now uploaded. Let's click the select button. And now we have the brand new image. Now you might see that this looks a tad bit dark because the old image was quite bright and this was already dark. So we might need to change the overlay settings. And this is a great feature inside the Spectra page builder, where you can go here and you see the image overlay color. So basically what we have done is, once we have uploaded an image, we can also overlay a color on top. In this case, the black color is fine, but the strength is a little too much. So I'll just reduce it a little bit. And something that I'm happy with is maybe something like 0.65. So now there's enough contrast and the image is visible as well. I can also change the focus point. So if I go here, you'll see the image actually moves around a little bit to change the focus point. So we can also do this, and a lot of these things are just native to WordPress. It's very easy to write. And then you can obviously change the image overlay. So if let's say you're not happy with just a black color, you can also choose a yellow tone. Make sure to just balance the colors out a little bit. So if you wanted something like this, then you can also do it. Make sure to have the text in a different color. So let me also show you how to do that. For example, if I wanted to choose this yellow tone on the background, and if I go here, once again, since the settings box is open, inside the settings now I have the style options where I can change the color of the text as well. So if I select the text here and go here, I can choose the predefined colors, which is theme color. So I'll just click the black and we can let go. And now we have this. Now it doesn't look great. So what I'll do is just go back, because once the image is highlighted, it's not looking great. So what we'll do is I'll just go back to the block here and I'll change the overlay color to black. And we'll go back to a strength of 0.65, which was good. We'll go back to our text, select it all. And I'm going to select one of the white options in the theme colors. And now this looks much better in my opinion. So I'm demonstrating in real time how you can actually change things around. It's not definitely, or it's not, I'd say, even for a beginner, this is completely doable. And that's the spirit of this video, right? You can build a website even if you have no experience. So by the way, every single block in WordPress has these features, and every block has different set of features. So you can just explore things around, figure out what you want to change. But the idea is that if you click something, you'll see options on the right, change them around, and you can customize most of the things on your site pretty easily. Now, how about deleting blocks or moving blocks? Well, you can do it in a few different ways. So if you want to delete, let's say, hire us block here. So once you click on it, you have options here, but there's no delete option here because you see this hover menu here. So on the rightmost corner, you see the three dotted menu, which is the options. If you click on it, you'll see copy, duplicate, and other options here. And then you can delete this block as well. Now, if you delete it and let's say you made a mistake, you can always go back to the undo option here, which is Control Z. So if I click, it'll come back. All right. So now we have the hire us block here as well. And of course, you can use the same thing for orientation, or not orientation, but order of elements. So if I click here, and if I see here, you can always see add before or add after, which means that you can add blocks. That means adding new blocks. You can do it this way, or you can use the options here, this button here, which you can see, toggle block inserter. So now we have a lot of different blocks. Now, some of these blocks are created by Spectra. So you can see the Spectra blocks. So these are shipped with the Spectra plugin, which is part of the starter templates. Then we have the regular blocks in WordPress. So you have the paragraphs, heading, text, tables, And then you have some other blocks like media, that means adding images, design, buttons. So the idea is that anytime you want to add something, you just have to search for the appropriate block and just add it. Let's say, for example, hypothetically, I wanted to add a button just below hire us for, or call to action button here, just below this. So what I'll do is I'll click the plus button after I've selected this here. I'll select the main block. So I'll just use the list view, and inside the container, I'll use container, and we have this container. And once I've selected the container, I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to just type in button. And then you see the marketing button and the buttons block. The blue ones are from Spectra and the black ones from WordPress. We also have a call to action. So let's use call to action for now. Let's see how it works. I'm going to click on that. And now we have a call to action block. I don't like it, so I'm just going to go to the list view here, and we can also delete elements from here. So I'll click right on the three-dotted menu here, and I'm just going to click delete. And once again, I'm going to go to the container, and I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to search for button. Let's add the regular marketing button here. Let's click that around. We also have this. I wanted a more shapely button, so I'm going to delete this one as well. And once again, select the container, click the plus icon, and I'm going to search for button. Let's add the regular button now. And now we have a button. So we can customize the button, and you can see the button is inside the container right now like this. That's completely all right. We can change things around anytime. First, we need to customize the button. So I'm going to click the buttons here, and we have the general options where we can change the alignment. We have also the button size. So let's make it medium. I think extra large would be nice. This is nice. We can go to style options, and we have the text or the typography options. So if I click here, we have the font weightage, the decoration, and the height, and everything else that you can customize about the button. Pretty awesome. We can also go into advanced tab and change things around like animations. So that's also part of the features in Spectra if you upgrade to the pro version. But in the styles tab, we can have a lot of different options on the font weightage, spacing, everything else can be customized. Now, one important thing to remember is sometimes you'll add blocks and they'll mess up inside other blocks. So important to know that whatever you see here can be completely changed and let's say moved around. So since I clicked the buttons and it's inside this block and I want to make it an independent block, all I have to do is just drag this around a little bit and I'll just move this temporarily to be here, inside here. So now you see the button is here, outside the container, but not in the right order. So I'll just click and drag the button and just drag it just below the container. And I'll just make sure that it's inside the main container, but just below the second container. And now we have button set already. Pretty easy. So this is how you can change things around. If you add a block and then things are, let's say weird, or the blocks is not in the right order, this is what you can use the list view to move things around. And of course, if I click here, we can change the button presets. So let's say I wanted a button like this, and the content, let's change, or we can add the link here, basically, where the button takes us. And then you can also have some other options. So I'm just trying to see where we can customize some other things. So if I click here, I can change the text. So I'll click here and I say, hire us now. So that's how easy it is to change the text here. And I want to make sure that the text is actually black color. So I'll go here. And now we have the text as normal. So I'll just make sure it is black, or I'll just choose the one of the black colors. And for hover, I'll make it white and white. Right. So we have just done that. And we can also change it around. So for example, right now it's a translucent kind of looking button. So when I change this or hover over this, this color theme looks better. But if I wanted to, let's say, change the background color to something else. For example, if I go here and I select this button, then this might not look great when we hover over it. So in that case, I'll just go back to the background and change the hover. And to hover, I'll just click here and just 1 second. Yeah, I'll go to the hover option and not the text option, sorry, not in the type of background option. I'll go to the hover option and just make it black once again. So we want to change the background, we can do it here, and it's completely up to you. So right now the button hover, or when we hover over the button, it doesn't change color. And we can also change the size as I already showed you. So basically this is how you can do it. Now, one thing to remember, or one important kind of block which will serve you well, is the spacer block. So right now, even if you see this, if I close this around, you'll see that it looks like a nice page. So if I scroll around, let's say it looks nice, but the hire now button is way too close to this block. It doesn't look great. I want to add some space between. So that's one problem with, not problem with, but something a lot of people struggle with. So what I can do is, I just want to add a spacer block. So I'll add the spacer block between these two elements. So what I'll just do is click here, and I'll just click the plus icon here, and I'll just search for spacer. So now you see we have a spacer block. So I can drag also and put it up somewhere here like this. So this is also one way to add blocks. So I have added the spacer block. Let's head back to our list view. And now we should see the spacer block. Oops, I think I missed it. I'll just do it again. So I'll click here and I'll just type it again, and I'll just do spacer, and now we'll add a spacer block. So what I want to do is add the spacer block just above the button, so we have some space. So I'll just drag the spacer block and I'll just move it above here. Oops, like here. Like this here. All right. So now I have the spacer block done. And now if I just close this, you can see I'm kind of happy with this. I can change the spacer block to be a little different. So if I click here and or just go to the list view once again, I can find the spacer block. And let's say if I want to click on it, and I'll just go to the options here, you can change how wide or how long it is. So in this case, the height is what matters. So I'll just change it, let's say 70 pixels. And I'll just close this, and we'll just click out. Now this looks much better in my opinion. Now, important thing, once you made all your changes, it's also important to save your pages. So I'll click save, and we have the page updated. So if I go here, this is the old version of the page because I haven't refreshed this. So this is the old version of the page. Let's refresh this now. And now we see this beautiful customized changes that we made here. We changed the design, we added a new button here, we changed the color, made it more saturated, and I showed you basically how everything can be done very easily in WordPress. Now you can use the same principles to come here, change these images, change the text here, change this around. But one thing you might not know right now is how to change the menus. Because as I said that the menus and the headers are customized in a different part of WordPress. So I'll take you there, which is called the customizer. I'm going to show you how to change these things around. So back inside the dashboard, this is where we'll start with the customizer. Now there are a few different ways to reach the customizer. We can use the options here or menus here, or if you have the home page or any page of your website open, you'll see this black menu bar here. This only shows for administrators, so end users don't see it. You have an option for customize. This also take you to the customizer, but let me show you both ways. You can click this here. You can also go here, and what you can do is, let's say if I'm in the dashboard, I can head to appearance, and inside the appearance, we have a lot of different options. We have themes, patterns, customize, and the customize is where it takes us to the customizer. So if I click the customize option here, it'll take us to the customizer. Now, what is a customizer? A customizer is let's say a feature in WordPress which allows you to customize your theme. So most changes that you do here apply on a global level. So if you are, let's say, a little more skilled with changing things around on your WordPress website, you can use the customizer to change the weight, change the color scheme, change a lot of things. I'm going to focus mostly on changing the header and change the menu entries and how you can change the logo on your site. Customizer is very extensive. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of settings here, but mostly I'll focus on changing the header around. So let's wait for the customizer to load, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So the customizer is now open, and this is the customizer. You can see all the options here. There's so many different options to consider, but I'm going to show you the basics so that you know that, hey, this is where we can customize some of the things in WordPress. So the first option you might need to consider is the global options. And of course, the word global means that whatever you change here changes the entirety of your website. That means, let's say you want to change the default fonts or the default colors of your website. This is where you can change it. When I showed you the page or changing on the page stuff, that affects only the specific block that you're customizing. So if you want to change, let's say this block, only the font or the size, then you can just change it using the block builder that I just demonstrated. But if you want to change something on a global level, this is where you can come back. So inside typography, of course, you have the same presets that we showed you or I showed you during the import of the star template. You can change the body font, headings, H1, H6, paragraph margins, and also go back to the basically complete typography options. If I go here, you'll see the font size, everything can be customized. So this is where you can make changes and it affects your entire website. And also in the colors option, we have the color palettes. So you have one color palette. This is the yellow and black. You can make different palettes, so you can switch between them. And the defined colors inside the palette are shown up here. So this is what we were seeing inside the block editor, where I selected things and the colors were showing up. So basically this allows you to have standardized colors across your website. So when you need, or you don't accidentally make slight shade changes or hue changes across the website, which doesn't look professional. So once the color palette is defined, you can use the colors here. And one thing you'll notice is that some colors have this glow icon inside it. That means it's actually linked to one of these colors. That means you'll know that, hey, the color palette that I've defined, or the colors I'm using here, are defined by the color options or the color palette. So this is where you can change the colors. So if you want to experiment with changing the colors of your site, this is where you can come up here. If I go back to the container options, this is where you can change the width of the site. So certain pages might not be affected because they are overridden. So let's say if you want to have a blog post style, which is more narrow and compact, then you can change this here in the container style and change things around here. And you also can change the buttons basic styling. So right now the basic buttons, we have presets, we have defined colors for text, for the normal color, the hover color, padding, font style. So you can change them here. And if you want to go back, you will also see some other options. For example, you can create a scroll to top button here, some accessibility features, some block editor features. But ideally, the first few options is what you want to be considering or focusing on. Going back here, we have some other options as well. So if you go back here and you want to say, you want to change the look of a blog post on your site, you can change this here. So you can see how the layout is going to look like, sidebar, and the design options on the blog post, what's the outside range, and same thing for posts. So this is where you can customize, again, global settings. And you have sidebar options, you also have page options, but again, as I said, so too many different options to consider. The more important focus that I have for this particular video is the header builder. So you see here the header builder option. If I click on this, now this is a feature specifically in the Astra theme. Not all themes support this, but it makes it very easy for you to change things around. So imagine this, what you see here as the header being replicated here. So in the main header, you see just one row, but technically there are three different rows that you can use. So you have the site title and logo, the primary menu, the button, and some other rows as well. Now this makes it incredibly easy for customizing the menus. For example, a lot of websites you see where the logo is actually up top on the above the menu. How do we achieve that? All you have to do is come here, and we have this nice section in the middle of the first row. So I'll take my site title and logo block here. I'll just drag it, place it in the center, and just wait for a couple of seconds. And now you see that we have a beautiful looking header, completely different header. So now the logo is here and menus are here. And what if you wanted to change the menu and place it to the side and make the button in the middle? So I can just do that. Let this be here. I can also change the button and keep it here. And in a couple of seconds, now you see this looks a horrible looking menu. But the idea is that everything that you want to do is easily doable just by dragging things around. Now, a few different things I want to cover specifically are how to change the logo of your site, and I'll upload a new logo, and also how do we change the menu entries and the pages. So let's cover the menu first, and I'm going to show you how to change the logo. So I'm going to click the primary menu here. Now, similar to the block builder, if you want to customize the settings for, let's say, elements or blocks that are added here, you need to just click on it. So if I click the primary menu, you'll see that we have some options. Now, where do we actually change things around? Well, I'll explain that. First thing we can see here is the width. So you can change the width, menu the width. We also have an item divider, but we also have design options. So you can see hover styles, offset, and colors. You can customize or just go into it if you want to, let's say, change the colors of the pages differently. But more importantly, how do we customize these pages or links? Well, there are two different ways to do this. First is obviously here. You can see the configure menu from here. So if I go here, now we see that we have these options. Now, how does this work? Let me explain to you. WordPress has a feature called menus where you create a menu and then save a different set of menus. So if you have, let's say, a primary menu, a secondary menu, a tertiary menu, or let's say you can create multiple menus and you can switch them around if you like. So right now you can see this section you see here, the primary menu is created or occupied by the primary menu. You can see the primary menu. And what we want to do is, if you want to change this around, we need to edit the menu itself. So how do we edit the menu? Well, for that, we'll just go back into the dashboard for a second. And I'll just go to the dashboard here. And inside the dashboard, if I have an appearance section here, you'll see we have menus. So if I click menus here, this is where we'll see where we can change the actual things on the menu. So right now, you can see here, we have a lot of different options. But right now, what we see here is, ignore this for a second. Just look at this section, which is the menu structure. We have the primary menu, which is currently what we are editing. And this is the order of the pages on the menu. So you have the home page, the services page, the about page, and contact page. Now you can add more things, remove things, or reorder things very easily. So if let's say I want to make the contact option as the second option, I can just take this, I can drag this around and just let go. And once this is done, I absolutely have to save my page. So I'll just save my page. Right. So the primary menu has been updated, and I'll just not go back to the customizer for a second. I'll just go back to the main home page. I'll just refresh this. And now you can see that the home or the contact page is just next to the home. So we just made one change here, and now the page reflects there live. So this is how easy it is to change the menu. With a few different ways or few different things you can do the menu. Now, how about deleting pages, changing the actual links, or adding new pages? Let me demonstrate that as well. So what you can do is, if you just hover over the specific page, if I right click on it, or not right click, I just drop down, open the drop down or toggle it. We have options to change the label. So what does it say? Right now you can see, oh, I need to refresh this, but it says contact. I can change it. And again, you can also change the parenting here. So you're going to parent this menu and then change these things around. That's up to you. But this is basically a page that's created in WordPress. You can't change the link specifically for this because it's a contact page that's already created on your site. So how do we add a page with a custom link? So what you can do is, on this section, you can add custom links. So if I want to add a specific page on the site, so let's say I want to link to my social media, for example, I can just type the link here. So let's do wpbeginner.com, and I'll just say WP Beginner. This is just an example. I'll click add to menu. And now we have this custom link also created. And if I go to the custom link, I can always change the label and the URL. So I can change this, but for pages that are created natively in WordPress, you can't change the URL. So let's save the menu here, and I'll close the home page that I had opened. I'll reopen it because the cache clears. I'll just go here and right click, open a new tab once again. And now we should have a beautiful menu. And WP Beginner shows up here, and it does link to WP Beginner. So if I right click, open a new tab, you'll head back to WP Beginner. So that's how it works. So basically, customizing your menu is quite simple. Now, heading back to the customizer, if I go here, we've made a lot of changes to our menu. So if I refresh this, you'll see that changes are not saved. That's okay. We'll just make those changes again. We'll reload our page. Now we see a new menu, and we'll just click on it. And now I want to change some other things. For example, I want to change this button here. Now, one thing you'll notice is that on some elements of the page, if you hover over it, you'll see a pencil icon. You can click directly to the pencil icon to reach the particular location. So if I click this button here or get a quote, you'll see I automatically reach the header builder. So inside this, I can change the text here, change the link, and the design options, I can change the text color and the background color. So let's say I want to reverse the background color to be yellow when it is normally visible and white over hover. So what I'll do is I'll click here and just select the yellow icon and then do this and select white. So basically I'll reverse the colors. And in this case, the text color, I want to make it white. I think black looks better. Let's make it black. And once I hover over it, it looks nice. So you can customize these things very easily. Similar things for the menu as well. So not the menu, sorry, the logo as well. So I can click the set title and logo, or I can just go here and click on the pencil icon here. This will bring us to the logo option, which is the site logo. I can see here the site logo is here. So what I'll need to do is download and customize the site logo. I don't have a logo for you to show or for me to show you. So I'll just go to a website which gives you some free logos. I think the website title is logodust.com. It gives you a few different free open source logos to choose from. So I'll pause the video for a second. I'll download a logo from here and change it to the white color because we want to have something that is white here, right? Because we don't want a white background. So I'll pause the video for a second. I'll customize the colors or the logo and come back and show you how easy it is to change things around. So I've just created a simple logo and let me demonstrate how we can change that. So of course we need to see the logo here and we have the option to remove and change the logo. So I'll just click on it and I have the logo dimensions here. I don't think I follow them strictly, but I think I have a similar style logo. So I'll just drag it here and I'll leave it here and you'll see it's a little white logo. I'll just click on it and then we have the option to crop our logo. So I'll just skip the cropping part because we can't see it, but I think it's a very small logo. We can customize it. I'll skip it. And now you see the beautiful logo here. Now you can always change the logo width. So if I make it larger, you can make it larger. It looks ridiculous. So I'll just make it smaller, something like this. And of course you want to customize this, and I just created this out of fly. So we can make it a little translucent, like the original logo. But the idea is you can actually do things around like this. So if I want to make it smaller, I can make it smaller. I think around 135 should look good. And we can, I think, make it look good. So pretty easy stuff, how to add a menu here. And you can change the other things around. So you can change the site title if you want to. Again, site title can be customized here. You can see my site title is brand new website. You can change it and you can also do it in WordPress settings, but this is the easier way since we're already here. You can also add the site title to be visible with the logo itself. So you can enable this, then you can add the tagline. And for different devices, you can customize what shows up. For example, you can see the site title. And if you want to show that on the desktop, so if I click this, you'll see the site title should show up in a couple of seconds on the desktop. But if you want to say that, hey, site title should show up on mobile or tablets, and then you can customize these options. So basically, you have a lot of different areas to customize this. If I go to the design options here, you can also change the logo color and something else as well and change the margins around. So basically, you can perfectly customize and design the logo, or I'd say the position and how the logo looks like. But I'm happy with this area. So what I'm going to do is just click publish. And publish it is. So if I just go back, I can click this cross icon and we'll go back to the dashboard. And now we have made all the changes. So let's check out a new website in action. So if I go here, let's click visit site. And now we should see a brand new logo. Yep, new logo, new menus, new changes, text, everything else. Now, I have showed you almost everything that you need to know how to customize because it's easy, right? Anybody can do it without any technical expertise. Now, one thing you might want to know is how do I create new pages? Well, let me show you how. Let's go to the dashboard here. And inside the pages options, we have, again, all pages. So first, let's see all pages. Now, I've already showed you the block editor. If you would go to the block editor and click the add a new page button here, it'll show all the different pages you have access to, or at least you can start creating pages here. But it's a blank slate, right? Who wants that? Or at least if you wanted more of a, let's say, a framework around to build stuff on, what should you do? Well, in that case, what you can do is you have two options. If you want to just replicate a page similar to, let's say, the services page, then you should click this option here, which is the design library. So this is, as I said, so Spectra's options here. So if you go to Spectra's design library, you have patterns and we can directly go to pages. So we have some predefined pages already created for us. So if I want to create, let's say, a new kind of services page, I'll click here and I'll have options to choose different kind of services page that I can just import on the site. And then I can customize them using the same things I just demonstrated. So that's one way to do it. That's easy, right? And you have options here. You can see all the different pages, just the home page, about page, services page, contact us page. You have options to import them as well. Pretty easy stuff. A lot of features are already built in. But what if you want to have more control over designing a page? Well, then SeedProd comes into play. If you remember, we installed the plugin called SeedProd. And if you click here, this edit with SeedProd button, this particular page will be overridden and be taken care of by SeedProd. So if I click here, you'll see, please note that by switching to SeedProd, the current page content will be replaced. So it's a good idea to start from a blank slate when using SeedProd. So if I click OK, then you say leave site, that's completely fine. And we'll go to the SeedProd's builder. Now SeedProd is a page builder. So page builder, basically, you can completely design a new page and you have some predefined options to choose from. So what I can do is I can choose any of these options. So I can also subscribe to unlock additional options. So if let's click this button called get new templates. And I'll have my email will be utilized and now I have access to new templates. So let's say I want to design a coming soon page that, hey, website is launched soon, or something along those lines, or I just create a landing page or a completely new home page or something like a registration page or something. How do we actually create that? Let's say take this as an example. We have a sales page for a fitness influencer. So let's say if you're a fitness influencer, you're selling some online coaching of fitness, then this is a page that will be useful to you. So if I click this button here, we can change this. So I'll change the name to fitness offer. Okay, and then we have the page URL. Let's click and start editing the page. Now, SeedProd is a completely different way to build pages because it's very visual and you have predefined visual elements and block. By using SeedProd's predefined, let's say, landing pages or pages built in, you don't have a blank slate. You have complete customizability. So similar to how I showed in the block editor, all you have to do is click things around, change them. So if I click here, now I can change the text here by here. Click here, change the text on the button. The interface is quite simple and move things around if I want to. So if I want to change things around, let's say this program covers, I can drag it, change the options, and I want to change this. Let's say I'll click this icon here, and I'll change the background color. So I'll select a slightly more different tone, so something like this, let's say. I'll copy this hex code because I want to customize something else as well. So I'll just close it, and I'll do the same thing for this one. So for this block, I'll go background color, and I'll change it to this, and close. And now we've made a couple of changes pretty easily, right? And similarly, if I want to go here and change the background image or the color to, let's say, something like gray, dark gray, I can close it and then go here. And now we have button. And inside the button, we have options. We can change the icons. We can choose button colors. So let's say if I choose go here in typography, I can say button border. And I can just make the button border, let's say, green. And select the border width to be slightly higher, like this. Green doesn't look great, so I'll change it to something very light green, or sticking with the theme of the website, I'll just change it something like this. So basically I've made a lot of changes here. I can also change the background color. So if I, let's say, want to add the background color, this is now what we can do. And we can also change the text color and typography. So let's say I'll go here and I can make this font size slightly larger if I want to, and go back here. And if I go back to styles, and if I go back to, let's say, I'll remove the border from here. So I'll just make the border width 0. And I'll just make the button style 2D. So now we have a new button here. So we have some shadows and something already created. So basically, by just doing a few, let's say, clicks here, change the same colors, and I can of course change the text here. So join our 30-day fitness challenge. I'll say fitness marathon. Done. Easy, right? Pretty easy stuff. Change the font style, change alignment, right? We're looking for, let's say I want to make this 100. So I'm looking for 100 people to transform, and done. We have the button here. So join now, results guaranteed. So I'll say, we'll say big prize if you win on winning. And I'll say join today. Done. Easy. And this program covers, I want to make it center line. I'll just make it center line. And then we have strength training and we have images. Again, I can click on images, change the image around. Everything is easy to do. And once again, I can say the same settings, change this buttons here if I want to. Everything is very, very easy to do. So this is SeedProd. And again, we've done a few videos on how to create landing pages with SeedProd, how to completely change your WordPress website using SeedProd. So that's completely up to you. I'll leave this to your imagination and your practice on how you can utilize SeedProd on your website. And once again, this is the end of the video. We have covered everything about how to build a website and completely customize pages, posts. Hopefully now you have a great understanding on how to build a website. There are a few steps remaining if you want to make your website live. That is installing Google Analytics and connecting your website with Google Search Console. I'd recommend you watch these videos right here to proceed to the next steps. But the design part and building website part is completely finished. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment if you still have questions. And remember that you're watching Yuvraj from WP Beginner. And I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.